Our challenges, assessing needs and finding solutions. Short-term, mid-range, and long-term. Solutions can find us working in the margins. Today's world is a tough baseline. It's more difficult than ever to just exist or get by. And it's not getting any easier. Moving forward in today's world has become both an art and a science. Food, clothing, temporary shelter, long-term housing, short-term jobs, temporary employment, or long-range careers. It all takes some help and finesse. Not everyone can do it. It's an art and a science. And let's face it, not everyone is a scientist. Some people need more help than others. The basics like reliable transportation, internet, laundry, a regular shower, even water, those basics we all take for granted. Electricity, these are the challenges of those caught in the net. Are homeless, unhoused, housing challenged, living in the margins. People of all ages, young, middle-aged, senior citizens, entire families, male, female, all reasons and all walks of life. Anyone can find themselves living in the margins. Homelessness and the challenges that go with it are not going away, and we can't ignore them. It's just too expensive. We've got to do better. Take the next step forward. Tune in now and listen to Working in the Margins.
Hello, San Bernardino, Inland Empire. This is Shazette. I'm with Family Assistance Program. This is our weekly radio show here on KCAA 1050 AM 106.5 FM. KCAA TV for the video that drops through the YouTube. Thank you so much. Last week you showed out in good numbers, and I'm so happy that so many of you got to watch and see the awesome people, my guests that I had last week that were formerly, they were justice impacted. This is Second Chance Month, April. I think I feel like April's almost coming to an end, but we still got another week or so, or a week and a half. But it's going by real quick. But April is Second Chance Month, and it's been awesome to be able to go. There's a lot of resource fairs and conferences, and I was able to go to one yesterday at Cal State San Bernardino. It was awesome, great speakers, great workshops. My co-worker, colleague, Miss Carly Kalinich, who runs our reentry programs at Family Assistance, she was one of the panelists. It was informative. There were lots of reentry folks that were there getting higher education. They were getting degrees. They were finding out about how to become social workers. So it was a really, really good conference. And we've been to a few this month because of the theme of the month. And that's the field we work in a lot, is reentry. So no different this week. I'm bringing another friend on. I hope everything works out for him to get here, because the weather kind of turned a little bit icky outside, and he was on the road. But hopefully he'll be here. His name is Jason Vera. He's from 211 United Way. He is a justice-impacted young man who is now working in social services to help other justice-impacted folks find housing and work and things like that. So I met him about, I want to say, a month ago at an event for 211, where they were honoring some of the folks that they have that are doing extraordinary things. They recognized some of our reentry people. It was a really, really nice event through 211 Careers, and I met him there, and he was being honored, and I heard his story, and I ran up to him afterwards, and I said, "Please come on my show. I want to talk to you." So this was a little while ago, so we were finally able to pull it together. So I'm hoping that he makes it, and you all get to meet him, and so you can hear his story too. So in the meantime, I want to talk to my community. I want to talk to my community about some things that are going on that are affecting all of us with the federal government, and it's been almost too hard to watch some of the decimation that's going on with jobs and budget cuts and things like that. Some good people that we've worked with for a long time are finding that their jobs have been put in jeopardy because of the current administration under the president, Elon Musk, um, or Donald Trump. I don't know who is the president, but it's affecting everybody. It's affecting everybody, and it's affecting all work that is being done in social services. And let me tell you, as a nonprofit I work in social services, and I work at a nonprofit. I've worked at several nonprofits, and I have my own nonprofit. Um, and I we don't get a lot of money. Everything we do is based on grants and sponsorships, awards, and things like that. Fundraising, we have to fundraise a lot as a nonprofit. Um, we don't get a lot of funding, and I don't understand why they're trying to take away what little there is that helps us to operate. Um, a lot of us nonprofits, we function off of government funding, federal funding, state funding, county funding, but a lot comes from the federal government through different departments. It comes down to, like the Department of Education. It comes down to the services that we offer in our schools here locally for our special education, our special needs kids, our families that have special needs kids. There's a lot of that the Department of Education that they monitor on the state level, the work that comes to the state level. Um, some of the current federal executive orders that have been really harmful, it's like the travel ban and then the revised travel ban, the rescission of DACA. That's Executive Order 13815. My guest has arrived. They're setting him up. Hey, Jason.
Hello.
Um, Executive Order 13836, reducing poverty in America. That's not what that, read it. It's not what it's supposed to be or what it seems to be. Promoting accountability and streamlining removal procedures. Establishing a White House Faith and Opportunity Initiative. That's not what you have to read. I suggest always to you community that you got to read for yourselves and find somebody that you trust with this information or explaining this information, because the titles may sound like they're for the betterment of our communities, but they're not. So go and read them about them. Another executive order, and there was a budget cut that impacted nonprofit organizations, was the repeal of the Johnson Amendment, which prohibits tax-exempt organizations from engaging in partisan political activity. The proposed budget cuts to programs such as Meals on Wheels and the National Endowment for Arts. There's an executive order to cut funding for sanctuary cities, which may affect nonprofit organizations that provide services to undocumented immigrants. These cuts they've reduced funding and resources for nonprofits that help them fulfill their missions and serve their communities. And I've always been real proud to work at a nonprofit and to be in the nonprofit world, because these are your boots on the ground people. These are your people that go out and they choose to work with marginalized communities, be it reentry, human trafficking, domestic violence, teenage youth runaway. It's important, I think, that it's important to remember who these humans are and that they are humans when we are taking away jobs, funding for help. There's an executive order, and it really, so I said I didn't know if I was going to talk about it or not, but I'm going to talk about it because it's harmful. It's an executive order on combating race and sex stereotyping. And then what it does is it prohibits federal contractors from conducting certain types of diversity and inclusion training that addresses systematic racism and sexism. Okay, so they want to get rid of that. Prohibits. So this is, to me, it's just it's obviously racist. It's just obviously racist. I think it's so harmful to some populations that I don't think that they thought they were going to be harmed by it. But now they're starting to speak up, and they're getting mad because it is. The leopard is eating their face. That's what's happening. These are supporters of this administration, and now they are regretting it, because the leopard's always going to eat your face. I don't know. It's always, I don't think. And they told you the leopard was going to eat your face, but you didn't believe it because you didn't think it was going to affect you that directly. But your families are being detained, and the ICE is going to the schools. They're going to the schools, folks. This is real thing. They're going to the schools. They're trying to break up families. They're tearing apart families. I still don't understand this rush to dystopian America. I don't know. I think he watched too much TV. I really do. I think those folks back there, they're like caught up in this entertainment world, so they watch a lot of, and as disheartening as it can be, I feel like some folks are like, I'm not entertained, so let's see how, bad we can make it. And they don't understand this is not entertainment. This is people, this is lives, human lives that are being affected. We're going to take a break, and when I come back, we're going to talk to my guest. I'll be back. San Bernardino.
This is KC.
Your proud Argo Super Tea helps build red corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system. And it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TaheeboTeaClub.com. Taheebo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E, B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea, and then the word club. The complete website is TaheeboTeaClub.com. Or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TaheeboTeaClub.com.
One of the best ways to build a healthier local economy is by shopping locally. Teamster Advantage is a shop local program started by Teamster Local 1932 that has brought together hundreds of locally owned businesses to provide discounts for residents who make shopping locally their priority. Everything from restaurants like Corky's to fun times at SB Raceway and much, much more. If you're not currently a Teamster and you want access to these local business discounts, contact Jennifer at 909-889-8377, extension 224. Give her a call. That number again is 909-889-8377, extension 224.
KCAA.
Welcome back, San Bernardino. This is Shazette, working in the margins. We are on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and we come to you from the beautiful studios here at Teamsters 1932 in downtown San Bernardino. We are on 4th and Sierra, and I love coming here. I always feel at home. So thank you for tuning in and staying tuned in. I'm going to introduce you to my friend. So we are new friends. Like I said earlier, we met about a month ago at an event. His name is Jason Vera. He is a reentry case coordinator with Inland United Way 211 Plus, which is also a working partner with Family Assistance Program. We have the higher program of reentry employment services that we work with United Way 211 Plus and their careers, and we've worked with 211 Plus for a long time, and we value that relationship. He's an advocate. Let me add this word in. He's a powerful advocate for individuals that are navigating life after incarceration. Why is he perfect for this? Because he's justice impacted, y'all. These are the folks that you want out here doing the work. He has firsthand experience after serving 26 years of incarceration, and his transformation back has allowed Jason to bring lived experience and compassion and leadership to his work in the reentry space. He currently consults for Reach Out, where he supports justice-involved youth and young adults through access to education, training, and employment services. I love Reach Out because Reach Out is doing something innovative, and they are training youth, justice-impacted, justice-involved youth in community health work. And I'm a community health worker, and I think it's going to be the wave of the future to help get folks really off the street, is being able to go out into our communities and navigate our clients to health care. I am so excited about Reach Out and that initiative. He serves as a ministry leader at Celebrate Recovery at Centerpoint Church, giving voice to his testimony to guide others through faith-based healing and recovery. Because I tell you, some folks want that and need that. That bees rights in Jesus Christ. Some people need that. And I love that we have that available. I used to work with a lot of Celebrate Recovery folks that did Celebrate Recovery. That's where I met some of my best buddies in the social service world too. So we're gonna say, Eric, find me a hand clap. Jason will be graduating this fall with his bachelor's degree in sociology at Cal State San Bernardino, with plans to obtain his master's and expand his impact at both the community and policy levels. I love an educated man. That's awesome. Whether through mentorship, advocacy, or frontline case management, Jason's mission is clear to break barriers, build bridges, and heal trauma by walking alongside those seeking a second chance. Well, ain't that something? I just want to know you now for the rest of my life, because you are who we need. And at the end of the show, folks, I'm going to talk about being an advocate and why you should be an advocate. So, Jason, tell me a little bit about your experience being incarcerated. Just as much as you comfortable with, Jason. Just so.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you.
It really was a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yes.
And I really love everything that Family Assist is doing in the community.
We trying good. Yeah.
So, my journey through my incarceration, it's a very long and arduous journey. Like you said, I served a total of 26 years of incarceration from the age of 16 to 42. I have now been home for a little over 3 years. I recently was released from parole in February of this year.
Yay.
And so, of course, going in at that young age, it was difficult, you know. It was like something that I had to learn how to navigate.
Yeah.
You know, I went to my first prison yard in 1997 at the age of 18.
You was a baby.
Yeah, you know, really I was when I look back now. And all of my time up until the year of 2018 was on a level 4 or in the SHU, which stands for the Security Housing Unit, which is essentially the prison within the prison.
Right.
And so that is because when I went into prison, you know, I was a gang member. I was a drug addict. I was addicted to the criminal lifestyle. And when I was convicted and given a life sentence, it hit me hard, you know, because of the fact that at that time, that was really the tough on crime era. So when you received the life at that time, that was really looked at as you were going to die in prison.
Yeah.
And so when I hit the carceral system, that was the mindset that I had, that I was going to die in prison. And because of that, I really lost hope. I had no idea of like any prosperity in the future.
Right.
And so with that in mind, I had to adjust my mindset to that was going to be my home.
Right.
And that meant just essentially learning how to fit in, learning how to gain the respect of others in that world. And the way to do that is through violence. It's through, you know, things like drugs, selling drugs, manipulation, you know, just a lot of
All
negativity.
Self-preservation.
It was. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to sit here and like lessen my culpability because I made conscious decisions and I committed a horrible crime that landed me in prison, and I don't take that lightly. You know, I deserve to go to prison, and I understood that. But at the same time, it does still have a very traumatic effect on somebody. So I got lost in that world, you know. I really adopted it as my own. I continued on my path of criminality, substance abuse, and just got really enmeshed in the gang lifestyle. And everything that came along with that. You know, I committed acts of violence against numerous people, and that all of that eventually culminated with me being what is termed validated.
Okay.
So I was
I'm gonna tell you, I understand some of this because I had a brother that was he passed away, but he was in and out of jail most of his life, and he passed away at 42 through an overdose.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And he would go in and come out, and we would have conversations about that. So I understand, the language, and I don't think I'll ever understand the trauma. I know it's traumatic for our family that he was having to go through that, and I assume it was the same for you. But I want to ask you, before you came out, was there anybody speaking hope to you, to tell you when you come out, you have a whole life ahead of you. There's things, did somebody, because we have InReach where we go into the jails, family assistance, and it's so important to tell them as they're coming out, it's not that bad, because there's a lot of anxiety around being released. Was somebody there for you before you came out, or did it not happen until after you were already out and connecting the resources?
Well, for the vast majority of the time I was in there, I was blessed that I had my mother and my grandmother on my side.
Awesome.
And, they never gave up on me. They were there. They were my constant support. And, they were always trying to give me hope. And then later on, I met a woman who is now my wife, and she, really helped me, not only with support, but she really helped me to embrace my faith, and also to really begin that transformation that allowed me to come home. She motivated me and uplifted me, and she really had my back. And on top of that, just having somebody that loves you for you and accepts you for you, it means the world. Yeah, it's everything.
It's everything.
It really truly is, and that love.
She your ride or die.
Yeah, definitely. She chose to be with me and marry me while I was incarcerated with a life sentence. And so, but having that love, it just really brings back that value, it helps you to see that, hey, I'm not just this person, like somebody.
I'm lovable.
Yes, exactly.
So now I have the right to hope and to prosper and progress and then come back. When did you decide that you wanted to help people?
So it was really around, I would say, 2016 was a big turning point for me, because at that point, like I had mentioned earlier, I had gotten validated, so I spent a decade in the SHU straight, in Corcoran SHU and Pelican Bay SHU, and through legislation and also we participated in a mass hunger strike that really brought a spotlight on the SHU and the horrors that people face while being in solitary confinement. And a settlement was reached that allowed everybody that was validated, essentially, that didn't have any acts of current violence out of the SHU. And so I got out of the SHU in that year, and although I had been taking steps towards changing and doing work on myself, once I was able to be released back to the general population, that's when I really got to sink my teeth into this world of self-help and
Right.
education, and really diving into it, and then understanding the impact that this could have on not only myself,
Right.
but on all the other people that are
Right.
on these yards,
Right.
and that helped me to really solidify that this is what I want to do going forward,
Yeah.
because it was a small way for me to like give back,
Right.
and
Yeah.
just like make amends.
Yeah. I hear that so often, and it's always, I'm like, they choose folks like that are have lived experience, choose to come back and do social service work. I hear that a lot. It's a way to give back, but I think something our community needs to remember is that you did your time. You
Yeah.
did your time for your crime,
I did, definitely.
and the system allowed you to come out because you fulfilled whatever you needed to fulfill in order to be released. So this is a desire for you to want to go back and grab somebody else and bring them on up. And it's, sometimes folks, they're like, well, that's what they should be doing. That's what no, you did your time. You could come out and go and do anything else that you want to do.
Definitely.
You could go and be an engineer. You could go be a doctor. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. You're getting your degree in sociology. You could be a professor and teach sociology. So you don't owe us anything to come back. You did your time. And I think we need to respect that as a community, that we aren't there's a lot of rehabilitation that happens, but these folks have done their time, unless they broke out, right?
Yeah.
But,
No, I get that for sure, and that's definitely true. That's a very valid statement. I think, though, I can only speak for myself, but, from having many conversations with other individuals that come home after long-term incarceration, it's something that is just in us now. It's
It's in
something
you.
that we have just kind of like,
it's your mission.
yeah, we know that we've harmed so many people throughout our lifetimes within our life of criminality, that we want to give back now. We want to make
We
a
wanna help
difference. We
people
want to
now.
create positive ripple effects out in
Yes.
in
Yes.
society, in our communities especially.
And you and other folks that have lived experience that are doing this work and giving back, you are who we want in our communities. This is what successful reentry looks like. Is when I've always had this thing, and I talk to people and I say, man, is it traumatizing? Is it triggering to sometimes deal with folks that were on the path that you were on, or that they're not successfully re-entering, or you face that every day. You face your trauma, every day if you're working with people and trying to help them get to where you are. Do a lot of people say, I want to do what you do?
Yeah, they do. A lot of people do.
You encourage them.
Definitely. I always do. I tell them we need you. We need people like you if you really want to be serious and do the work and
Because you're
change
who I
you
want
are.
to talk to when it comes to the penal system and needing, education or trainings, or you were most recently, within 3 years. That's recent to me.
It is.
So you have the knowledge. You know what's going on. I would want to ask you questions, Jason. Like, is there access to technology? Do they need access to technology before you come out, so you can at least build? Because that's like a huge barrier.
It is. I could speak from my own personal experience. And that was one of the biggest hurdles for me upon coming home, was learning to navigate technology. And it's such like a overlooked aspect of reentry because of the fact that I think people just assume that we have this knowledge, and
They watch
we
too
really
much
don't.
TV.
Yeah, we really don't.
They think everybody got a burner cell phone in the jail.
Oh yeah, that's far and few in between. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen.
I know.
But
It's
that's
based-
not the majority for sure.
SVU is based on something, or what is it? Law and Order is based on something, but it, But I think that I think that we don't know. We don't know. So it's important that you are doing this work. So that I love that you're my colleague now, because when I have folks come out and I'm having challenges with them trying to settle, and I wanted to be able to call you and say, talk to Jason, talk to him, because he was where you were recently, and where you were and where you are now. It may seem, it's huge. It's huge.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I always tell my folks when I come with my lived experience, because it's not easy work. It's hard work. It's really hard work, and we underestimate the importance and the value of lived experience knowledge. And like I said, I want to just talk to you. I'm gonna call you. I'm like, hey,
Go ahead. You got my number.
I know. It's been so great to talk to you. I really appreciate you coming. We're going to take a break, and when I come back, I'm going to close out with Jason, and then I'm going to talk to you all about what it is to be an advocate and why we need you to be an advocate. I'll be right back.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
This important time-sensitive message is brought to you by this station's generous sponsor, George Litchfield Associates, who has important Medicare information for all current and future Medicare recipients about some big changes happening. Medicare Clarified. Medicare is a nonprofit consumer service organization.
It's more important than ever to review your Medicare plan for 2025 from October 15th through December 7th. To find out if you're in the right plan for you, people are calling 951-769-0005. 951-769-0005. A popular and local Medicare plan is improving. Others are raising copays and adding deductibles. Biggest changes in the Medicare drug program in 15 years.
We thank George Litchfield and Litchfield Insurance for their generous support of this radio station.
What is your plan for your beneficiaries to manage your final expenses when you pass away? Life insurance, annuities, bank accounts, investment accounts, all require a death certificate, which takes 10 days based on the national average, which means no money is immediately available. This causes stress and arguments. Simple solution: the beneficiary liquidity plan. Use money you already have. No need to come up with additional funds. The funds grow tax deferred and pass tax free to your named beneficiaries. The death benefit is paid out in 24 to 48 hours without a death certificate. You heard me right. Without a death certificate. Call us at 1-800-306-5086.
KCAA.
Hey, San Bernardino Inland Empire, this is Shazette working in the margins, and I'm here with my guest, Mr. Jason Vera. He's from United Way 211 Plus here in San Bernardino. They serve San Bernardino and Riverside, right?
Yes, we do.
So tell me about your program that you are working with right now, because I'm just fascinated about the programs for Second Chance.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a reentry coordinator for our BSCC WHO grant, which stands for Board of State and Community Corrections, warm handoff. So there, our program essentially helps with, we can help with direct supportive services. So we can help with things like bus passes, clothing for work, interview clothing, and for those individuals that have their own vehicles that are registered to them in their name with a valid driver's license, we can help them with gas cards. Those are like some of the tangible things that we can help with. We also help with, case management, which they get me or my colleague Sophia Brown as a case manager. We're both justice involved, and we both are certified peer support specialists. And we help individuals coming home from incarceration like navigate their reentry. There are 3 specific qualifications for our program, that the individual had to have served time in a state facility, so they have to have a CDC number.
CDCR number.
And the second is that they have to be in Riverside or San Bernardino County.
Riverside or San Bernardino County.
And lastly, they cannot be over 5 years after their homecoming.
Okay. So within 5 years
Yes.
of their homecoming. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then we also work hand in hand with our careers department, which helps with like the workforce development aspect.
Awesome program.
Yeah, that's through the hire program, and they help people with their resume building, with their like soft skills, interview skills,
Right.
and then they also help with job leads, and they work with them as well and can
Right.
provide
A lot of people
supportive
don't know about
services.
211 Careers, but 211 Careers is an awesome program. They conduct work readiness intensives, like 3 days, and you get a little certificate at the end, And I could imagine the usefulness of that, because folks are coming in and maybe they just need to make sure that they're ready to go to work. Instead of just jumping into jobs, but finding out, getting some assessments done and seeing what you want to do, So I really appreciate that. What else are you offering over there?
I mean, we have a lot of different programs, but if anybody has any type of need, any type of resource that they're in need of, all they have to do is dial 211 on their phone.
Right.
They'll be directed to a CRA, and that individual will help them with some type of tangible resource.
Or direct them to the
Or
right
yes, direct them to the right organization that can help them. It's an awesome.
I love working with them. So 211 is our county coordinated entry system. So when folks are finding themselves in need of services, homeless, or they're needing utility assistance, things like that, they can call 211, and 211 will direct them to where those services are. So tell me, I want to know, what are you going to do with your sociology degree?
Well, my plan is to obtain my MSW, which is a
Okay.
Master's of Social Work. Once I graduate in the fall, I'll be applying. And after that, my future goals are that I want to open my own nonprofit.
Okay.
Focused on reentry, but also just other needs that this community needs, because I do live in San Bernardino. I am from this
okay.
community.
Awesome.
So I drive down Highland and I see that there is a really great need,
I know.
There's a lot of people dealing with substance abuse and that are unhoused and things of that nature. So
A lot of them are reentry.
yes, I know that. And so I want to be able to go into my community and be able to help others,
Me too.
have those resources that they need, that not just like in the future type of resources that most of these programs offer, although they're great and they're awesome.
I know.
It's just
Everybody got a waiting list.
yes, and we have so many people out in our community that need things right now.
We need
you
to
know.
brainstorm.
Yeah.
You need to start a think tank for here in San Bernardino around what we can do. I've been thinking about this, y'all. I've been thinking about it a lot. I want a think tank of folks that are from this community, that have seen this community change, invested people that want to see, that really want to help and understand people, that these are humans, that they're battling. You have a lot of folks that weren't drug or alcohol addicted before they hit the streets, but they had maybe a reentry issue where they couldn't get housing. There's a lot of homeless, formerly incarcerated people on the street.
Yes.
So we need to figure out a way to capture them before they are getting to the streets, because if I was homeless on the street, and I think everybody in my community knows this, I'm drinking, I'm smoking, good Lord, because it's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not.
We don't want them to, but really what choices do they have? And I don't believe that it's a matter of, they had this problem which led them to the streets. How about we start thinking that for some reason they hit the streets for a zillion reasons why any of us at any time could end up homeless on the streets.
This is true.
Maybe they started to self-medicate. Maybe they started to try to, make it not so bad because they started to medicate or drink or, do the feel-good stuff, We don't want them to, and we know that it's not good for them, but we need to be more aware of the causes of homelessness. And if reentry housing is not adequate enough to put folks on the street, to put folks in housing before they hit the street, we got to come together. We got to figure this out.
Definitely.
We got to figure this out.
I'd love to be a part of that.
Because it's so much harder to deal and to try to find resources after they are on, and after they're doing the drugs, and after they're drinking. It's so much harder.
It really is.
Jason, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
this
having
has
me.
been a great conversation, and I am so excited that you are a part of our community of colleagues and work, because I feel very, very good that you are going to make sure that we keep going in the right direction as far as helping people out on the streets. So your community appreciates you. Your community is proud of you, because you say you from San Bernardino and you had to leave for a while and you came back.
Well, I didn't grow up in San Bernardino. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley, but I live here now.
Yes.
This is my adopted community, and
well, we like
I love it.
We adopt you. I'm not from here either. I'm from Chino, but I claim I wear the hat. I love San Bernardino. I grew up in the Inland Empire, so I love San Bernardino, and we'll take all the help we can get. Don't worry about that.
We'll be here.
All right. So in closing, I wanted to talk to my community about something that about what we need out here from folks. Earlier I talked to you about some of the changes in like the Department of HHS cuts that cut youth runaway programs, and they without proper funding for these programs, they're forced to reduce staff and resources, which make it difficult for these runaway youth to access support and resources that they need. And those are the cuts that are coming. This leads to an increase in homelessness, exploitation, and other negative outcomes for runaway youth. These cuts that that are happening are taking out of our communities dollars that we keep our communities safe with also. they're making it harder to work with stabilizing marginalized folks in marginalized communities, and giving them the assistance that they need. It's just, it's sad. It hurts a lot to see some of these cuts. Some of them are to law enforcement, legal aid. Some of these bills, like around immigration, we've never needed less. We've always needed more. We've never needed less. We need more around immigration. We need more around domestic violence. We need more around human trafficking. And folks have been performing miracles to do this work in these nonprofits with, budgeting and minimum income. So here's what I need you to do, community, because I'm going to keep talking about this. I need everybody to become an advocate. Find something that affects you or issues that make you feel like, I need this to be better, okay? I need you to educate yourself on the issue and its history. So let's say DV, okay? Educate yourselves on the history and the issues of DV. Share your knowledge with others. Share your knowledge. If you're on socials, use social media to spread awareness. Attend protests, rallies. Be safe. And I'm not saying you're going to see me out there at no protests or rallies right now, but no, that's not true. I'm going to be out there. Volunteer with organizations that support the cause. Family assistance, we have a volunteer program. You just go through our HR department and become a volunteer. 211, I'm sure they could use volunteers. So volunteer with organizations that support the cause. Donate to relevant charities or causes because they're taking all our money. Educate your friends and your family. Support marginalized communities and amplify their voices. If the LGBTQIA two-spirit population is your jam, then amplify their voices in what you do. Advocate for policy changes. Utilize, for those that have privilege, utilize your privilege to create change. Support and uplift other advocates. That is really, really important. Link arms. And the last is never stop learning and growing as an advocate. Never stop learning and growing. There's a lot of, it's unfortunate, I think we're going to be fighting our whole lives, for justice and equity and inclusion. And I think we just need to realize that. So I'm in the fight with you. Eric, thank you so much, Mr. Eric. Jason, again, thank you so much. We in this fight together, bro.
Amen.
And San Bernardino, thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next week.
NBC News on KCAA Loma Linda is sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters1932.org.
For KCAA 1050 AM NBC News Radio and Express 106.5 FM. Human interpreters in Moreno Valley are being replaced by Wordly, an AI-powered translation service. It provides real-time